Does anybody remember what the Civil War was?
Yes.
What?
It was the war between was it the British and the American?
No.
Almost.
The American Revolution.
The American
That
Revolution.
was the American Revolution, the war between the Americans and the British.
Mexico and
No,
It's the Mexican-American War.
Mexican-American War.
Daddy, the Texas and the American. I think
was it how we got our rights?
Okay, so
Nope, so
I
I
think it's a
don't
hard
know.
no. We are headed out to see the Appomattox Courthouse. Our park is not, our RV park isn't too far from there, so we're gonna go check that out and just kind of learn some of the history of what happened here in Virginia back in the Civil War.
The Civil War was a war with the United States against the United States. So it was a war against each other. The bloodiest war that the United States has ever fought in.
What does that mean?
Like a
It
lot of
means-
people died.
A lot of people died and they were all Americans, but they were fighting for different stuff. So the significance of this building, the importance of this building that we're going to, is where the South, which was the Confederacy, this is where they gave up and the North won the war. So there was the Union and then there was the Southern states. And this courthouse that we're going to is where Robert E. Lee surrendered to Grant. So it's a very, very famous, it's a very, very important time in our history. And we get to go see the building. Jefferson Davis was the president of the South during this time where the United States was going to split.
And how weird that would be if it actually, if it didn't pan out the way it did, like if it was two separate countries.
Yeah, I mean all the states that we've traveled through so far, we would be in a different country if the Confederates had been able to win the Civil War. Or the North would have continued to fight and there would have been more wars because they would have wanted the Southern states back. We're about to be transported in time.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are. Okay. We're going back in a time machine, just like Peabody and Sherman.
Yeah.
Right? So the year is 1865. Fighting has been going on for several years between the North and the South. And one of the things about the Civil War was that there were some people whose families lived up north, and there were some people whose families lived up, the same family lived in the South, and they were fighting against each other. So the Civil War was talked about that it was brother against brother. So imagine by taking our family, splitting it in half. Half of us are fighting for one side, the other half are fighting for the other, and meeting each other in battle. And you having to make a decision on whether or not you were going to shoot Maddox, or Maddox was going to shoot you. I mean, that's how big the Civil War was. So now it's 1865. Both of the leaders, they're called generals, both of the generals are here at this building.
Right
Robert Lee was in the south, Grant was in the north, and they were extremely powerful men. And they've met at this building, and Lee is about to surrender the south, which means that the north is going to win at this place right here, and it is it's the end of the war.
Why can't the brothers on the south or on the south just say I'm not fighting my other brother?
The South was fighting for the ability to have a vote in the government and the ability to keep things the way that they were, that was working for them in the South. The problem with that is that part of what was working for them was slavery, and that was taking people against their will and making them work in their plantations and stuff. You see all these fields and everything else here?
That's where they were
It's all farmland. And somebody had to work those farms. And in the north, it was more like businesses where they were making stuff.
That's what it is.
I'll tell you what, the Civil War, the ending of the Civil War is
Henry Ryder.
true.